Now then, and welcome to another video. So I've made quite a lot of progress with my Ravenguard over the last couple of months. I thought I'd quickly show you what I've been up to. So I think the last time I made a video on my Ravenguard, I just got my 2 tactical squads done and my tactical support. Possibly my Terminators. Yeah, I got my Terminators done as well. But since then, I've added to the force. I'm just over 2,000 points now. So what I've been up to. So the first thing I did was I got this Rhino. I got this painted up for my tactical support squad. So this is the guys with the melter guns. So I painted this one up. This is all airbrushed. I'm still learning how to use the airbrush. Painting white, even with an airbrush, is quite challenging. But I think I managed to pull this one off. A bit of chipping and stuff on there. Really enjoying painting these. Makes a nice break from all the historical stuff I've been doing recently. And I'll be making a video about that shortly, what I've been up to. I've been quite quiet lately on the old YouTubes. But yeah, I've been busy. I've been busy painting away and I've been at work and all that kind of good stuff. Yeah, so there's my Rhino. It's got a combi melter there. Generally find it only lasts a couple of turns this before it gets blown up anyway, so it's a one-shot weapon. Get it within range, it's got at least something to do a little bit of damage before it goes. But its most important role, I suppose, is just getting my melter gun armed guys where I need them, and that's worked out quite well. Yeah, so that's a Rhino. That's one of the plastic ones, a new plastic one. Nice little kit. Loads and loads of options for the hatches. I've made the hatches separate so I can swap them out and put different weapon loadouts and things like that if I want to. Yeah, so there's a Rhino. Next up, I'll go with the vehicle again. This is the Sicaran main battle tank for my Ravenguard. Really enjoyed painting this. Took me quite a while to do. Spent a lot of time with the airbrush, learning how to use the airbrush on this one. I tried to get it as smooth as I could. Bit of battle damage on there. A lot of masking as well. So painting it black and then masking it all off before painting the white on with the airbrush. Particularly in these little parts here. It's quite difficult to get it. Pigment powders and things, the same as I've used on other models' bases, on the tracks. And a few transfers on there as well. So yeah, it's quite a chunky model. The turret's separate, comes off. Haven't glued that in so I can move it about. Yeah, chunky bit of kit though. So I've gone with the las cannons as the sponsor weapons. I've actually glued them on. Originally I had them loose so I could swap them out, but I thought, you know what, sod it, and just glued them in because they were a bit wobbly. Yeah, heavy bolter in there. Then 2 accelerator autocannons in the turret. Pretty good bit of kit. Really enjoyed painting this. I'm quite happy with the way it turned out. I've had 2 games with it so far. In both games it's ended up a burning wreck. So hopefully the next game it'll last until turn 3. That'd be something. Seems to attract a lot of fire. But anyway, that's the Sicaran. Oops. And then next up we've got, what else have I done? I've done these guys, these are called Mordathan. So these are like the recon troops for the Ravenguard. They're like a secretive sort of sneaky unit. So what I've done is I've kit bashed these out of the Mark 6 Marines, built the weapons out of 3 different kits. It's got the original bolter that comes with the Mark 6, the magazine housing and the sight unit is off a Primaris Marine. So basically I cut the chunk out of the Mark 6's bolter and stuck that in its place. And the suppressor and barrel is off a Imperial Guard Hell gun from the Scions kit. Yep. The cloak's all green stuff. Made that myself. Mostly painted it up. First time I've ever tried to sculpt anything with green stuff ever. I think it turned out okay. Room for improvement as always, but it came out okay. In focus you, so that's one of them. It came out alright, didn't they? Lots of messing about with the green stuff. It took me quite a while to do these. I'll show you the rest of them because there's another one. That one came out particularly well, I think. Yeah. And last one. Yeah, really enjoying the Horus Heresy at the minute. The rules themselves are really complicated. They're not really complicated, it's just hard to find anything. So what I'm working on is little data cards for each unit that I can put along the side of the table. So I'm not spending half the game of my head in the book trying to find stuff. Yeah, apart from that, it's a really good game. And this one here is a sergeant for the squad, as denoted by the 2 white stripes on his helmet. He's got kind of an honour marking thing on his leg as well. He turned out pretty good as well. Yeah, so they're the Mordathan. And to go with my Mordathan, I created another character. So this is he's called a Vigilator, which is basically he's a master sniper. And this is another kit bash out of Mark 6 Marine. And as part of the vehicle upgrade sprue, you get a Mark 2 body that you can just about see in there. So I cut the top half of the body off, put the Mark 2 body torso on top of it. I repositioned the legs. That was fun. Chopping them all up and trying to get them so they'd work. Obviously he's still on his tactical rock, because why not? The sort of lens he's looking through is part of the vehicle upgrade kit as well. And then the sniper rifles off the scout sniper, the 40k scout snipers, which I had one spare of. Yeah, there he is, and there's his cloak, all green stuff up. I think he works alright as a vigilator. He's got his melter bomb there as well. Yeah, it was a cool idea, but he doesn't do very much in the game. He just gets one shot a turn. And if you roll lots of ones like me, he's a little bit frustrating. But there you go. That's him. So I think that's everything. Oh no, it's not. Dark Furies. These are my latest. Again, these are conversions. Lots of 3D printed bits and a bit of green stuff again. So there's one of them. So the chest plate is a filed down the original Mark 6 design on there, like the cabling and things, and green stuffed on the chest plate. The arms, shoulder pads, the backpack and the wings are all 3D prints that I got from Warforged UK. I had a bit of trouble getting them in the end, but once I got them I was quite happy. There's his jetpack on the back there. Lightning claws. We tried to make the lightning claws stand out, so I painted them a really bright silver. Really Edward Scissorhands, aren't they? Very dark. But they're quite cool. Did well in the game today. Even though in the end they did get their asses kicked, but did it alright. And this is the Chooser of the Slain, he's called, or basically the sergeant for the squad. Slightly more elaborate. Couple of honour markings there on his legs. And again, the double white stripe on his helmet to denote sergeant. Put the 19 on his backpack so I can tell which one it is because they're all dark. And the interesting thing with these is you can have up to 3 of these in a squad of 10. So I might paint a couple more of these. All I need to do really is put some white stripes on the helmets, and I have another 2 of them. So, and it will make a difference in the game, I think. Yeah, so that's my Dark Furies. Really cool squad. Very fragile though. I've already broken one by dropping it. So that's pretty much my whole army so far. That's just over 2,000 points. To add to this then, I have got my Corvus Corax model, the Primarch of the Ravenguard. We'll have a quick look at him now, I think. So, onto the Primarch of the Ravenguard. This is Corvus Corax. This is the most expensive model I own. I've got thousands of models of lots of historical stuff and all sorts, but this alone is the most expensive thing I actually own. Now, I didn't buy this because, as my two sons who bought me it for Christmas rightly said, I'm too tight to have ever bought this myself. So here we go. So my son collects word bearers, and obviously that's a little message you left inside the box for me. Yeah, I believe you're incorrect, young James. But yep, so you get a little bit of a guide to building resin models from Forge World in there. Normal stuff. And then you come on to the instructions. Now, for such an expensive model, that's literally your instructions. It's a very complex model, I think. Leaves a bit to be desired, I think. Yeah, it's not brilliant. But we'll have a look at him. And there's all the bits, lots of, all resin. So let's have a look then. So in here you get two of these clam shell packages. One there. And we'll get this out without breaking it. There we go. And there's his little. So you get all this resin stuff in here. Move this out of the way. Have a quick look at the base for him first, I suppose. So all these big chunky bits of resin here. So that's part of his scenic base. So this will sit on top of that, like that, kind of thing. Lots of detail on there, as you can see. I've had a good look at these, and there's no air bubbles or anything. It's actually a really clean cast. It's the first piece of Forge World stuff I own, and the only piece of Forge World stuff I own. So I've seen quite a few unboxings and things of miscasts and whatnot, but this looks fine to me. Except more basing bits. Great big chunk of resin there. Part of the scenic base. Another bit. All looks pretty good to me. Certainly no miscasts or anything. There's a little bit of clean up to do, but not too much. And then this last piece here. Seriously impressive model, I think, when it's done. And there's a little bit here. I think this might have broken off something somewhere. Don't know where. I'll figure that out and stick it back on. Yeah, and then there's the base for the Primarch himself. So I think what happens is you've got this like removable base that slots in there as a display base, and then as you're having a game with him, you can take it out and just use that base. It's quite a clever idea, I think. I think all Primarch models are like that. Seeing as I only own this one, I can't confirm that. So, next bit then is the Primarch himself. Let's just get all these bits out and fight him with this box. Talk amongst yourselves when I get this out. We're scared of breaking anything, so it's so expensive. There we are. Right, so the main body of Corvus himself, there it is. Yeah, that I believe is a pretty perfect cast. There's hardly any clean up on it. There's no air bubbles that I can see in the resin. Very nice. Very intricately detailed as well. So that's his body. And then what we've got is, this is part of the scenic base. This marine that he's shooting. Mark 3, I think. He's going to have to be a word bearer, isn't he? There's a backpack for that marine. And that's Corvus's head. I'm a massive fan of his head, to be honest. Yeah. There's his head. Very cleanly cast though. Yeah, I think I've been quite lucky here. There's no defects on this at all, I don't think. Apart from that one little broken bit on in the basing box I showed you before. There's that. What else? That's another bit of base. Blimey. What's next? These wings, look how thin they are. Look at that, wow. So thin it's almost bloody see-through. Blimey. Very clean cast though. Very thin. Oh wow. I can see these getting broken during the game. I might just have to stay on the shelf and look pretty, this guy. Wow. And there's his other wing. Yeah, blimey. Alright, there's his two wings. Jetpacks, one of these has fallen off the sprue. It's not damaged or anything though, it's just popped off. There's a little jet thruster thing as part of his jetpack. Some arms. So you've got Corax's shoulder plates, that one and that one. And then the one in the middle, I think, is for that marine, that scenic part for the base. Yeah. That's that. More bits, I'm not quite sure where these go, to be honest. So obviously his pistol. Some other bits and pieces, I'm not quite sure what these are yet. And then more little fiddly bits. These are just little details, aren't they? So there's that pistol again, but in his hand. Don't really like the pistol. Looks like a 1970s retro ray gun or something you might see on Flash Gordon or something. Yeah, weird. Yeah, another little details there. There's his whip, some raven's feathers and a skull and stuff. There's his claws. Take it this blade is part of for this marine. He'd been murdered. Yes, that's all the bits. As you can see, it's quite an intricate model. Very finely detailed. Pretty much a perfect cast as well, to be fair to Forge World. Just these instructions. Looks like a bit of a nightmare. I'm not going to lie to you, I've painted a lot of figures, but I'm actually quite intimidated to even stick this together, let alone paint it. Because it's so expensive, I don't want to break anything. I mean, I was looking at some things earlier, and it's stuff like that. See where it joins on his shoulder pad. That's going to be a nightmare to get that off without breaking something. There's a few other bits like that, yeah, like these, look. See where the sprue gate kind of joins in there. It might just pop off, but blimey. When you're dealing with a model that costs nearly £100, yeah. But yeah, I'll stop waffling on now. So that's Corvus. Hopefully, next couple of weeks or so, I'm gonna get this built and get it built and painted even. But like I say, I'm quite intimidated by it. I've had it a while now. Yeah, but it's quite an impressive model, isn't it? When you look at it in the picture there. Yeah, very cool. Right, that'll do me for today. Hopefully start making YouTube videos again. Yeah, I've just been off the YouTubes for a while. Just been busy, head down, painting, working, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, so life, isn't it? Right, I shall speak to you all again soon. Bye bye.